Hi students, Mrs. Drew here. Today we are going to review all participles and learn techniques how to tell them apart. Let's review the most important features of the participles. First, they all come from verbs. So if you go to the first sentence, find the participle, which is a present active participle, nārans. You can trace it back to the second principal part, present stem, of nāro, nārāre, nārāvi, nārātus, tell. In the second sentence, if you find the participle, locutus, which is a perfect active participle, you can trace it back to the third principal part of loquor, loqui, locutus, sum, speak, which is a deponent verb. The second feature, that they all function as adjectives in a sentence. If you look at nārans, it is going to be the adjective of magistra, describing magistra in number, gender, and case, both being singular, nominative, and feminine. If you look at locutus, it is going to be the adjective of salvius, describing salvius in number, gender, and case, both being singular, nominative, and masculine. The third feature of the participles is that they show both adjective and verb characteristics in a sentence. The verb characteristic is going to be that they can take a direct object. Nārans will take the direct object fabulam. You can find that if you ask the question, what is the teacher telling? The teacher is telling a story. That's the direct object, the verb feature of nārans. In the second example, locutus is going to take the direct object haec verba. If you ask the question, having said what? Having said these words, that's the direct object. In other words, that's the verb feature of the participles. It is helpful to see all the participles together in a table. The present active participle is here, nārans, nārantis, telling. The perfect active participle is here, locutus, locuta, locutum, having spoken. The future active participle is here, nāraturus, nāratura, nāraturum, about to tell. We don't have a present passive participle. The next one is the perfect passive participle, nāratus, nārata, nāratum, having been told. And the last one is the future passive participle, nārandus, nāranda, nārandum, must be told. Please remember that the future passive participle is better known as the gerundive. It is very important that you can tell the participles apart. There are three that are easy to tell apart: the present active participle, the future active participle, and the future passive participle or the gerundive are easy to tell apart. You can look at their suffixes and identify which participle they belong to. However, we have two participles that look alike. The PPP and the PAP look exactly alike as far as the suffixes go. How will we tell them apart? The best answer to this question is that you will need to remember the principal parts of the verbs they are coming from. If they have 4 principal parts, they are going to be a PPP. If they have only 3 principal parts, they are going to be a PAP. In this case, I remember that nāro, nārāre, nārāvi, nārātus gives me the perfect passive participle. And I also remember that loquor, loqui, locutus, sum is giving me the perfect active participle. Notice the difference in between these two verb forms. Naru narare is a regular verb, and it only has active forms. While if you look at lokvor, lokvi, lokutus sum, you can notice that this is a deponent verb. Only having passive forms. Knowing the principal parts of the verbs the participles are coming from is your best way of telling which participle are these.